All right, let's talk about the future of your money. We've got a real fintech face-off on our hands today. It's a battle between three absolute giants for control of your digital wallet. But here's the kicker. Wall Street thinks they've already figured out who the winner is. So we're going to dive in and see exactly who they're betting on and why. So who's it going to be? You've got the OG, the one that started it all, PayPal. Then there's the newcomer trying to be your everything bank, SoFi. And finally, the two-headed monster, Block. But before I spill the beans on who Wall Street loves, we gotta set the stage. You need to know what kind of fight we're even talking about. Look, the world these companies are operating in right now, it's a little shaky, right? You've got all this economic uncertainty floating around, which means people, you and me, we're thinking twice before we spend. And that hits these guys right where it hurts. But, and this is a big but, the long-term trend isn't going anywhere. We're all moving more of our lives online, and that's why this whole fintech space is just so incredibly important to watch. All right, first up, let's talk about the veteran, PayPal. To really get a grip on where they are today, you have to go back and see how they became such a beast in the first place. So PayPal's story is basically the story of online payments. I mean, think about it. It all started back in '98, then it merges with a little company from Elon Musk called X.com, sound familiar? It gets bought by eBay, and for years, they were basically joined at the hip. That relationship really defined online shopping for a whole generation. But then, in 2015, they split up, and PayPal became this independent monster, and it went on a shopping spree, snapping up companies like Honey for a cool $4 billion. That tells you everything you need to know about their game plan. Own every single piece of your online financial life. And yeah, PayPal isn't just that blue button you click. It's this massive empire of brands you probably use all the time. I mean, you split a bill with your friend? That's Venmo. You're using some random app to buy something? Chances are Braintree is running the payment in the background. Sending money to family overseas? That's Xoom. And finding a coupon code before you buy? That's Honey. See? They've built this web that touches pretty much everything. But all that history, as impressive as it is, brings us to right now. And right now, PayPal is in a tough spot. The post-pandemic boom is over, competition is heating up like crazy, and they're really fighting to get their mojo back. So what's the plan? They're slashing costs and doubling down on their big guns, PayPal and Venmo, hoping to spark some new growth. Okay, so PayPal's legacy is absolutely being put to the test. This brings us to the three-way showdown. They're up against two really interesting and very different challengers. You've got SoFi, gunning to be your one and only digital bank. And then you have Block, which comes at you with this killer 1-2 punch, Square and Cash App. Okay, this table really lays it all out, and you can see three totally different playbooks. For PayPal, Wall Street's worried about new users. They're just not signing up as fast. But their cost-cutting plan? It's working. Their profitability is up 36%. Pretty good. Now, SoFi's got its own headache with high interest rates. But man, are they pulling in new members. Over 600,000 in one quarter. And then, you've got Block. Even with the economy being what it is, their earnings just exploded, up 132%. That's just wild. And it all comes down to how their two big pieces, Square and Cash App, work together. So there you have it, three companies, all with their own pros and cons. But the analysts on Wall Street, they've sifted through all this, and believe it or not, they've picked one clear favorite. And bam, here it is. You can see it clear as day. PayPal gets a decent moderate buy. SoFi is kind of a meh, just hold on. But Block, it's a strong buy. And just look at those numbers. 20 analysts screaming buy and only one saying sell. I mean, that's about as close to a unanimous decision as you're going to get on Wall Street. Okay, but a strong buy rating, that's just words, right? What does it actually mean in terms of, money? The real story is how much bigger these analysts think the companies can get. So let's look at the implied upside. First up, PayPal. Analysts are forecasting about a 5.4% upside. It's solid, respectable. It's what you'd expect from a big, established company. All right, what about SoFi? Here, they're seeing a little more room to grow, almost 8%. Better, for sure, but still pretty cautious. And then you get to Block, 34.1%. I mean, just look at that number. It's not even in the same league. That's why they call it a strong buy. It's a huge difference. So why are they so bullish on Block? Well, guys like Jason Kupferberg from Bank of America basically think the rest of the market is sleeping on this stock. He says its business model is high quality and undervalued. And what he means is that connection between Square for merchants and Cash App for people, it creates this incredible cycle where each side feeds the other. It's a super sticky system, and analysts believe the stock price just hasn't caught up to how powerful that is yet. Okay, let's bring it all home. What does all the stock market talk mean for the future of your wallet?
So here's the bottom line. When Wall Street looks at Block and they see its stock has taken a bit of a hit lately, they don't see a problem. They see a sale. They're basically saying, hey, this is your chance to get in on a great company with huge long-term potential while it's cheap.
So look, Wall Street has its favorite right now, but this race, it is far from over. The real winner in the battle for your wallet is going to be whoever keeps innovating, whoever comes up with the next big thing. So the question I'll leave you with is, who's it going to be? One of these three? Or maybe some new company we haven't even heard of yet? Who's going to invent the future of how we all spend our money?